Hey everyone, rate this revenge 1 to 10. How justified or satisfying is it? Drop a number and a short reason. Let's get into it. I sit across from Victoria in the lawyer's office. She looks like she's about to give a press conference, all sharp lines and perfect posture, like everything's a performance. I keep my eyes on the lawyer as he starts reading Grandpa's will, hands folded, trying not to let my mind wander. Her name pops up first: houses, bank accounts, a chunk of everything Grandpa had. Mine? A garage. Victoria smirks, just enough to show it's not accidental. Well, isn't that sweet? She says, loud enough for the whole room to hear. A garage. I guess some people don't aim too high. I don't react. She's been like this since we were kids. I've seen worse in the army, heard worse too. The lawyer clears his throat and keeps reading. When we finally get to the garage, he pauses. A slip of paper is taped to the garage door, just like he said. It reads, "This garage is my final test. Only a true soldier will know what to do." I glance at Victoria. Her eyebrows raise, but her lips stay tight, and I can see the calculation behind her eyes. But I don't care about her or her judgment. I care about what's next. Inside, the garage smells like dust and oil. The usual. I look around and spot a steel box nestled between an old toolbox and a workbench. And there's a photo of me, at 10, wearing a greasy shirt, holding a wrench in Grandpa's workshop. We're standing side by side, the engine in pieces on the floor. I don't open the box right away. Not yet. This isn't just a garage, it's something else, and I'm going to figure it out. I take a deep breath, letting the air settle in the garage before I make my move. The steel box sits on the workbench, its weight heavy on my mind. But it's not the box that pulls me in. It's what I might find next. I open the box. Inside, there's a note in Grandpa's familiar handwriting. Don't open until you're ready. I don't even have to read the rest. That's all I need to see. This is a test, and Grandpa's always been good at those. He never did anything halfway, not with his engines, and definitely not with me. I set the note aside and start looking through the rest of the box. There's a flashlight, worn but functional, a thick envelope with no markings, and a photo of a Shelby GT 500. I know it well. Grandpa always talked about it like it was his second pride and joy. The GT 500 was his dream project, his obsession for years. I flip the photo over, but there's nothing written on the back. Then I start on the keys. Most of them are tagged with little labels: shed, toolbox, safe. But one key isn't labeled. It's black, heavy in my hand, and it feels wrong. Too important. I don't know why, but it sends a signal straight to the back of my brain. The note tells me to wait, observe, and act when the time is right. I exhale slowly. I know what this is. Grandpa's voice in my head, always patient, always calculated. This is a recon mission, plain and simple. I take a few steps back just to get some space. Recon first. I need to figure out exactly what's going on before I make any decisions. I study the place, every corner, every tool. The shelves are stocked with oil cans, spanners, and loose bolts. Grandpa's old workbench has a few tools left on it, left like he might have just stepped away for a minute. But I know he's not coming back to finish whatever he started. The padlock on the garage door stands out. It's old, rusted at the edges. Like everything else, it's a relic. But it doesn't feel right. I don't touch anything else yet. I make a note to replace the padlock. I need to lock it down. I also see the old light hanging from the ceiling. It's dim, flickering every so often. I pull the bulb free, replace it with a new one from the shelf, and install a fresh socket. I don't care if it's a simple task. It's all part of making this place secure. I need this to be more than just a garage. It needs to be a stronghold. After the light's up, I step back, surveying the room one last time. The box, the keys, the Shelby in the corner, it's all part of something bigger. I replace the padlock and make sure the garage door slides down smoothly. I secure the place like it's a high-value asset because, in a way, it is. I don't know what Grandpa meant by only a true soldier, but I do know one thing. This is my mission now, and I'm not moving until I know exactly what I'm dealing with. I step out of the garage, the weight of everything still settling on my shoulders, when my phone starts vibrating in my pocket. I pull it out and see Victoria's name flash on the screen. I don't answer. Instead, I slide my finger across and open the voicemail. Her voice is sugary sweet at first, the kind she always used when she was trying to act like she cared. "Hey, just wanted to check in. Hope you're doing okay. Let me know if you want to talk." I've got some ideas about Grandpa's will. I'm already rolling my eyes before the message ends. Another call comes in. Same number. I let it go to voicemail again. This time, her voice has changed. Harsher, sharper. I know what you're doing. You think you're getting away with this, don't you? I'll take you to court if I have to. You're making a mistake. I hit save. The third voicemail comes in a few hours later. You're really pushing this, aren't you? This is about more than the damn garage. I'll make sure everyone knows you're unstable. Maybe you're not fit for this. I sit down at the kitchen table, the phone in my hands. I don't respond. I don't need to. She's using her usual tactics: money, threats, deflection. I've seen it all before. I think back to the condo scam after my first deployment. She made it sound like a gift, something generous. I bought into it at first, thinking maybe she'd changed, but it wasn't a gift. It was a trap. The place was falling apart, a mess of legal loopholes and hidden fees. She made sure to get her cut before I ever realized what was happening. This time, I won't fall for it. I sit at the table for a few minutes, dialing the local precinct. I file a harassment report, make sure everything's documented. Then I get a few documents notarized, start preparing legally. Every voicemail, every message, every call, I record it all. When I finish, I pull out a folder and start making copies of the will. The papers I've signed, everything that's going to protect me when this goes further. There's no point in talking to her now. I won't give her the satisfaction of a confrontation. I just need to build my defense. Keep everything tight. I leave the phone on silent after that, just in case she decides to call again. The office smells like old leather and ink when I walk in. Grandpa's lawyer, Mr. Grayson, is sitting behind a big mahogany desk, glasses perched low on his nose. He's been around a long time, probably seen more than I'll ever know. I sit down across from him, my hands folded on the table. I'm ready for this, whatever it is. He doesn't waste time. The will's airtight, he says, looking at me over his glasses. Victoria has no legal recourse. You're the rightful heir to the garage. I let out a breath. It's good to hear, but I already knew it. It doesn't stop her from trying, though. Then he pauses, puts his pen down, and leans forward. But there's more, he says, voice dropping a little lower, like what he's about to say is a whole different ballgame. I sit up straighter. The garage, he continues, tapping a few papers in front of him, holds rights to several military subcontracts. It's not just a space for tools and engines, it's a business, tied to federal contracts. I blink, trying to process. Federal contracts? You mean, like, real contracts? He nods, slow. Yes, these are long-standing agreements tied to defense work. And those contracts come with liability and certain protections under federal law. You're inheriting more than just a garage. You're inheriting business responsibility, and you're protected in ways you might not fully understand yet. I let that sink in. I don't know what kind of weight I was expecting, but it wasn't this. And if Victoria tries to make a move on it, he raises his eyebrows. Messing with those contracts could trigger all kinds of legal issues. It could turn into something very ugly, very quickly. I rub my hand over my face, trying to put this all together. Grandpa wasn't just nostalgic about fixing engines, he was tactical. This garage, these subcontracts, they weren't just a hobby to him. They were a play. Grayson slides a business card across the table, his fingers tapping it like it's a deadbolt. You'll want to start thinking about how to protect yourself legally, a business structure, insurance. You're sitting on something big. I pick up the card. There's a name, a number, a law firm. I stand up, not saying much, just nodding. The weight is heavier now. Grandpa wasn't handing me a shop to tinker in. He was handing me something with real stakes. I walk out of the office, my mind buzzing. It's a whole new world now, not just inheritance. This is about business, contracts, and federal law, something bigger than both of us. Grandpa knew what he was doing, and now it's my turn. By the time I get back to the garage, the weight of it all is settling in. Grandpa's old lawyer's words echo in my head. You're sitting on something big. It's no longer just about the tools, the machines, or the Shelby. This is business, and business means protecting it at all costs. I go straight to work. I launch full legal prep, no hesitation. First, an LLC. I get on the phone with a lawyer and get the ball rolling, then open 2 bank accounts, one for operating expenses, one for savings. I set up a P.O. box, a separate address to keep everything discreet. Nothing in my name, nothing to tie me directly to the business until I know exactly what I'm dealing with. Next, encrypted backups. I know how this goes. Documents can disappear, contracts can go missing, but if it's all backed up securely, there's no way to erase the truth. I keep everything locked down tight, every email, every contract, every call log. I start documenting everything. Every part in the garage gets logged, every tool, every item. I make sure there's a hard copy and a digital version, just in case. And then I get the garage itself ready for whatever's coming. I install cameras, just the basics, nothing flashy, but enough to cover every angle. Motion sensors on the doors and windows, a few signs warning trespassers that this place is under surveillance. It's not about being obvious, it's about being prepared. This isn't a family garage anymore. This is serious. I don't mess with the layout too much. The tools stay where they've always been, organized and ready for work. I leave the Shelby covered, but I make sure it's spotless. Grandpa would have hated seeing it gathering dust. It's not about the car, though. It's about maintaining what he built. I make sure everything's secured and organized before I take a breath. And then, the phone buzzes again. I don't answer. Not anymore. I check the number, see it's Victoria, and I don't even hesitate. I press decline, watch the screen go dark, and shove the phone back in my pocket. It doesn't matter what she says. I don't need to hear it. Not now. This isn't about family anymore. This is about legacy. The garage isn't my inheritance, it's my mission. After securing the garage, I step back and think about the next move. It hits me. Grandpa didn't just work on engines and tools, he worked on people. He didn't see a broken machine, he saw a problem to fix. I want to do that. I want to keep the place alive, but in a way that means something. I decide to turn the garage into a repair space for veterans. No fees, no charges, just help. Whatever the vets need, whether it's fixing a truck, tuning up a motorcycle, or just a place to work on their own stuff, I'll give it to them. The garage isn't just for me, it's for them too. Word spreads quickly. One guy offers up a collection of spare parts he's been hoarding for years. Another offers his time. He's retired now, but he's got skills. Soon enough, people are showing up with tools, old engines, and stories. They don't all have the same background, but they all have one thing in common. They know what it's like to be broken and put back together again. The opening day comes, and I'm ready. A Marine vet walks in with a weathered truck. He's tall, about my height, but he carries himself like someone who's seen a lot more than I ever did. His eyes scan the garage, lingering on the shelves and the workbench before they land on the Shelby, covered in a tarp in the corner. He goes quiet. I don't say anything. I know exactly what he's thinking. "Your grandpa," he says finally, his voice thick with emotion. "He pulled me out of a burning Jeep in Da Nang. I owe him everything." I don't know what to say to that. I don't need to say anything. He stares at the car again. The Shelby, Grandpa's pride, the thing he always talked about with a kind of reverence. But for this guy, it's a reminder of the man who saved his life. I nod and walk over to the truck. It's beat up, rusted out in places, the engine barely turning over. But it can be fixed, just like the rest of us. I get to work, tuning it up, replacing parts, making sure it runs smooth. I don't ask questions. He doesn't talk much. But when I finish, I hand him the keys. "It's on the house," I tell him. He looks at me for a long second, and then his eyes go wet. He doesn't say anything, just pulls me into a hug. It's awkward, but I don't mind. He's not crying for the truck. He's crying for something deeper. And I get it. I do. By the time the sun starts to set, the garage smells like oil and coffee. A few more vets trickle in. One's talking about a busted carburetor. Another's asking for a new fuel filter. They laugh and swap stories. It's loud and messy, but in the best possible way. Grandpa would have loved this. Working, talking, fixing. I watch them for a while, wiping my hands on an old rag, taking it all in. This place, this garage, is alive again. It's not just about the cars or the tools, it's about the people. It's about making things work again. And that's exactly what Grandpa would have wanted. A few weeks after the garage opens, the news hits. Victoria's face is everywhere, on the front pages, on every local news station. She's under investigation for misusing funds, shady rental contracts, hidden terms in every deal she's ever made. Her brand, the one she worked so hard to craft, is falling apart, thread by thread. I don't celebrate. I know what it costs to keep up an image that's all shine, with nothing underneath. I've seen the effort, the layers of gloss, the perfect angles, but I've also seen the cracks. Victoria always played the part of the victim when things went wrong, but this time, she couldn't spin it. Her website goes dark. The posts, the photos, everything disappears as quickly as it appeared. Clients from her rentals speak out, sharing stories about hidden fees, broken promises. Reporters catch her outside the courthouse one day. She's still trying to keep the act up, blonde hair perfect, makeup flawless, but there's something about her voice. It cracks under the pressure, her rehearsed lines slipping as she talks about how it's all a misunderstanding. "I've been wronged," she says, holding her head high. But the words are hollow, like they've lost their power. Her voice used to be smooth, convincing, capable of telling any story she needed. Now, it's just noise. I don't feel sorry for her. Not anymore. Instead, I'm in the garage, the same place I've been for the last few weeks. The Shelby's covered but clean, sitting in its corner like it always has. I pull the cover off and start wiping it down, the only sound the cloth sliding across the steel. There's something real about this moment. No spin, no lies. Just the cold, solid steel under my hands. I wipe the car carefully, methodically. It's not about the car, though. It's about everything it represents. The work, the legacy, the quiet resilience that Grandpa had. That's what matters now, not the drama unfolding outside. I finish wiping down the Shelby, step back, and take a breath. The garage feels different now. More than just a workshop. It's a space that means something. And I'm the one holding the line. A few days later, a letter arrives. The envelope is plain, but the handwriting is unmistakable. Victoria's. I feel a tightness in my chest when I see it, the familiar knot that comes with knowing it's her. But this time, there's something different about it. The paper inside is thin, the type you'd get from a jail commissary, the kind they let you use to write letters when you've run out of everything else. I don't even have to read the words to know what's coming. I pull the letter out, unfold it, and start reading. She admits everything. The scams, the faked concern, the greed. She lays it out in cold detail, like she's been waiting for a chance to unload it all. Every lie, every deal, every manipulative word she ever used. The worst part? She doesn't even seem sorry for it. Not really, but then she asks for one thing. One last request. Tell Grandpa I was wrong. That's it. That's the one thing she needs from me. I put the letter down on the workbench, my hand on it for a long second, before I walk over to the steel box. I take the Shelby photo from the top and slide it into the box with the letter. I don't open the box. Not yet. It's not time. I don't forgive her. Not yet. I can't. Not after everything. But something shifts in me as I look at the photo, at the old picture of us in the garage. There's a crack in her polish now. I see it, even if she doesn't. She's trying to cover it up with words, but it's there. I wipe down the bench, the old rag moving slowly across the surface. The only sound is the cloth dragging against the wood. The same steady rhythm that's been here for years. No words, no noise, just the work. I place the rag down, step back, and breathe. Then, without saying anything, I go back to work. The Shelby hums down the old test road, its engine purring like it's alive, like it remembers every twist and turn. The wind cuts across the windshield, the sunlight catching the edges of the hood. I've driven this road 100 times, but today feels different. It feels heavier. I grip the wheel, the binder sitting on the passenger seat beside me. There's a quiet in the air, the kind you only get out here, away from everything else. Nothing to distract me, just the road, the car, and the thoughts that have been building up over the last few weeks. I park in front of Grandpa's grave, the ground soft with the weight of time. The headstone stands like it always has, clean, simple, solid. Service without spectacle, the engraving says. No frills, no drama, just the work, just the doing. I grab the binder and step out of the car, feeling the weight of everything inside it. The records, the photos, the letter from Victoria. I stand there for a long minute, just looking at the stone. Then I start to read it aloud. Victoria was wrong. My voice catches for a second, but I push through. She admits everything, the scams, the lies, the greed. I keep my eyes on the stone, not looking away. She says she was wrong. She asked me to tell you. The words feel strange in the open air, like they're hanging in the wind. It's a message she can't say herself. A message I'm delivering because she won't. I pause, staring at the grave. There's no forgiveness in my voice. Not yet. Maybe not ever. She doesn't get to hide behind her mistakes anymore. But I'm not here to play her game. I'm here to tell the truth. She wanted you to know she was wrong. I swallow the words, then close the binder and step forward. I lay my palm on the headstone. It's cool to the touch, smooth under my hand. I'll keep the garage true, Grandpa. No spectacle, just service. I stand there for a moment, just breathing, taking in the silence. It feels like I'm making a promise. To him, to myself. Finally, I turn and walk back to the car. The Shelby waiting for me like it always has. I get in, start the engine, and drive back down the road. The wind blows through the open windows, but the silence inside me is different now. It's not just the quiet of the road. It's something deeper, something settled. I don't have all the answers, but I know where I stand. And that's enough for now. The sun's barely up when I grab the first cup of coffee, its warmth hitting me like a small anchor. I open the bay doors, letting the light flood in, the smell of fresh air mixing with the familiar scent of grease and metal. The Shelby purrs to life as I fire up the engine, the hum of it filling the space. The shop feels like it's breathing again, like it's been waiting. I flip the switches and the lights come on, spreading across the steel, illuminating every corner. The sound of the machines buzzing, the air compressors filling the room, it's a rhythm I know well. It's the sound of work. I don't need anything more than that. A vet pulls up in his old truck. He's got a worn alternator in the back. It's nothing special, just a piece of junk that needs fixing, but he's a regular. The kind of guy who doesn't ask for much, just a hand when he needs it. Got a few miles left on this thing, he says, tossing the alternator on the workbench with a shrug. But she's not charging, right? I nod and get to work, stripping it down, checking the connections, making sure it's clean and working. It's a simple fix, but that's what this place is for. The work doesn't have to be flashy. It just has to be done right. The garage hums, steady and calm. I check the bolts on the workbench, tighten a few that have loosened over time. There's no rush. I don't need to push. I just need to keep things right. Outside, the world keeps turning. News cycles shift, people come and go, and the noise never stops. But in here, it's different. In here, it's just the work. I remind myself that service is what you pass on. Legacy is what you protect. Grandpa's legacy isn't just about the garage. It's about the people who come in here and leave with something fixed, something better than when they arrived. It's about taking care of the small things, the details that no one else sees. I keep the door open, let the outside in when it needs to. But inside, we do the work, and that's all that matters.